As you saw, hundreds of cars were submerged there in the floodwaters. And our question this morning is what to do if your car has been in a flood and what's the best way to clean it up. Now, to help us out, we called in the car coach, Lauren Fix, and we want to bring you in. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. Good morning to you. We saw those cars there in those waters. They're starting to recede now, but now is the rough time. What is the first thing that we should be doing at this point if our car has been flooded?
All right, number one is you want to call your insurance agent because you might have coverage, especially if your car was parked in your home at the time. If it was on the street or maybe you drove into it, you might have coverage. It's highly likely you do not. If so, you want to make sure to take it to a mechanic because if water got into the engine, the brakes, the car itself, don't start it, don't drive it, take it to someone and have it checked out.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of folks would be tempted to start the car to see if it's working, but you say do not do that. Well, what is the best method to make sure we get all of the water removed from a car?
Well, you want to find someone to professionally clean it. Now you can, if you have like one of those vacuum cleaners you can buy that sucks up water as well as dirt, you can take as much water as you can out. Remember, it's now into the electrical system and it could impact things like airbags and passive safety systems that you wouldn't even know wouldn't work until it was too late. But also it could affect computers, and that you'll know right away when the car starts. So if water gets into the passenger area, it means it's probably contacted the computers as well.
All right. Now, is there a point where we say, all right, this thing just can't be saved? There's just too much flooding, too much damage. When can we say, all right, it just can't be salvaged?
Absolutely. If you have what we call floater, the water is into the interior, all the way into the passenger area, higher than the seats, more than 2 feet, it's probably going to have to be repaired professionally. If the car literally was floating away and they pulled it out of a river, creek, someplace you weren't supposed to be driving, pretty much the car is going to have to go to a salvage yard.
Now, is this type of damage something that would show up in a car's history, something like a Carfax report?
Well, there's auto check and there's Carfax, and it's highly likely that only about 50 to 70% of the cars will be listed. The insurance company has to report it, or a dealer. If not, individuals don't report cars that were damaged because they're trying to sell them. So it's a buyer beware. If you're buying a used car and you're really not sure, take it to a mechanic, have them open up the fuse box, look at the vehicle. If it's been in a flood, never buy a flood-damaged car.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lauren Fix. I know you're going to be joining us to tell us how we can actually spot cars that are flooded if you're in the market to buy. Back in just a bit as we focus in on the tropics.